Hey, welcome to session 5. This one is so important as it just cements a framework that's going to really be a guide to you as you start reading the Bible now for yourself. And it's the acronym TIME, T-I-M-E. So let me work through that with you now. The T stands for text. This is about reading the Bible in front of you and just highlighting whatever you think stands out. It's highlighting something, circling something. It's asking questions. And so the text that I want to be working with you is in John chapter 15, verses 5 to 8. And this is the metaphor that Jesus uses, that I am the vine and you are the branches. So we're going to use that as our text for this session. And the first part is just read it. And then read it again. Maybe read it a third time. And as you're going through it, just ask yourself, what stands out? Maybe it's the fact that Jesus is the vine. And you want to focus in on that. Maybe it's in verse 8 that this is to my Father's glory. And you're like, I wonder what glory means. You ask God, what does glory mean? The first part is just text. Get into it. Read it a few times. Don't rush through it. This is not about getting through more text. This is about quality time in the text. That's the first step. It's just read it. Read it a few times. The second one is I. T-I is immerse. Study the highlighted verse or phrase by using various Bible tools and software so you can understand it more deeply. So now that you've read the passage, John 15, verses 5 to 8, now you zoom in on what stood out to you. You think about it. You start to meditate. And the idea of meditation isn't kind of some like weird pantheistic Eastern religion. It's just chewing on it. Literally, it's chewing on what you've read. So you interrogate it. You say, what makes sense? What's confusing about this? Or think about the genre of the writing that you're in. You do textual work. What is the context of this? Okay, so what type of a book? Oh, this is the Gospel of John. And you start to situate what you have read in the Bible. You think of it in a summation way. So after you've done the work and you've immersed yourself into what stood out, you sum it up in one sentence. In one sentence, what is this trying to say? And I think summing it up actually distills the information that you have just read. So first one is text, read it. The second was immerse yourself in the verse or phrase that you were reading. Asking questions. Where am I in the Bible? What was the original author? Where was this? It mentioned a city. Well, where's that? You actually are trying to get a little bit more educated on what stood out to you. Now, the third thing is ministry, and that's the M of the acronym TIME. And the ministry now is more applying it to yourself. Ask God in prayer, God, how do you want to apply this? How does this make sense in my life? You can ask questions like, is there an example in this that I need to follow? Or maybe an example that I shouldn't follow? Is there a command to obey here? Maybe there's an error to avoid, a sin to forsake. Maybe there's a promise to claim, a new thought about God. I never thought about Jesus as being the vine. I wonder what that would mean in my life if I was a branch connected to Jesus. You want to ask in this ministry time, what is the appropriate response to God in this text? If he is the vine and I'm the branch, well, what is disconnecting me from the vine? And what am I going to do to get reconnected, right? What is the response needed? So the text, you're reading it, then you're immersing yourself in it. Then ministry is the application to your life. Maybe it's been a hard season in your marriage. Maybe there's a physical suffering you're going through. Maybe there's a real question about God that you're waiting on that he hasn't answered. Maybe there's a deep insecurity or you're going to counseling. It's bringing up a lot. This is a time to say, God, make this text, this verse, this word come alive in my life. That's ministry. And then finally is encounter. That's the E of the acronym. Take your learning and application to God in prayer. I can't recommend to you enough the discipline of journaling. Now that you've read the text, now that you've immersed yourself in it, you've done this ministry, kind of chewing on what this means for your life, then encounter is, okay, Jesus, here I am. Here's what I feel. Here's my thoughts. Here, I think you're close. I think you're far. What does this mean? How much longer do I have to wait? That you want to encounter the living Christ through the word. This isn't just about information. This is about transformation. So you want to enter into his presence. You want to bear your emotions. You want to journal your thoughts down. And you want to say, God, what are you saying to me in this? My friends, if you do this, even for 10 to 15 minutes a day, look, we're not looking for 3 hours by yourself after fasting for the last 3 months. That's not what we're asking. But even 10 to 15 minutes a day, this could and will change your life. Time is about text. It's about immersing yourself. It's about ministry, and it's about an encounter in the text. And so today, my coach for you is to read John chapter 15, verses 5 to 8, and work through that acronym, time, and see what happens. My prayer is that you meet Jesus in it.